This video is to show you how to utilize testing accommodations with Schoolnet. Specifically, we're going to look at enabling the read aloud option. So part one, we need to start with creating the assessment. Once you get into Schoolnet, you want to click right here on the check the assessment icon, select assessments, and then right in here you're going to choose which section you would like to create an assessment for. Click on the Classroom Tests tab and create a test. For these purposes, we're going to do a quick express test. So we definitely want to go ahead and give the test a name. Go ahead and select the subject and anything else that's required, denoted by an asterisk. And select your test options and then your test settings. So these are the options here. Definitely make sure you select the text to speech and then also select your standards. So for these purposes, we'll just do science standards. Now you can go through, if you click the plus sign, then it expands all of these so you can select the specific standards that you would like to cover on this assessment. As you can see, some have more questions than others. So I'm going to find one that doesn't have that many questions just so that the test doesn't take that long to build. After this has been completed, you can click on Add to Test Map. Once you've selected the standards you want on this screen, you can select how many from each standard. So you have 52 available items here, and how many do you want to include on the test. Once you select that, you can click on Build Express Test. Now that you have an assessment you would like to use, there are a couple of more steps to make it available. Schoolnet uses a separate program called TestNav that this test will need to be published to. Part 2 will walk you through this process.
Come down to the Test Properties section. You're going to need to go to Edit Properties because you have to make sure that this text-to-speech option has been selected. In the Edit Properties menu, you can select any of these options that you would like to have, but in order for the test to be read aloud to your students, you will have to check the text-to-speech option and ensure that it is listed for English. Click Save, bring you back to the screen where you can begin to schedule your test. Once you're back to that screen, click the Generate Text-to-Speech option. At this point, it will tell you that text-to-speech is being generated. You'll notice up here in your alerts section, it's letting you know that you'll be notified when this is finished. Depending on how long your test is, this process can take some time. Once your text-to-speech has been generated, then you can click the Ready to Schedule option. It's going to come up and ask if you are sure you are ready to schedule the test, because beyond this point you will not be able to make changes. You can go ahead and select OK. And then it's going to ask you if you want the option basically to preview this in online test or in TestNav. When you're ready, you can go ahead and hit schedule again. And then you get to select all of your test settings. So when you want the test to start, when you want the test to end, all of the normal things that you would select for scheduling an online test. You do want to make sure that you administer this test with enhanced online test delivery powered by TestNav. That is what is going to allow your students who have the option selected for read aloud to be able to hear the audio for that particular test. When you are ready, you can go ahead and save. And then you're going to have this option at the top to publish to TestNav. You have to complete that in order for the text-to-speech to finish being ready for your students. So when you hit publish to TestNav, it's going to take a little bit of time again. And you'll notice up here in your alert section, it's going to let you be notified when the process is finished. And again, this can take some time. Once your test has been published to TestNav, it will notify you up in your alerts section, and here it also pops up in a bar across the top of the screen. At this point, you can give your students your online passcode, and as long as the proper options are selected for them to have the read aloud option, then it should read the test for your students. And this is how you publish tests to TestNav so that your students can have the read aloud option.